the women's prison in the Philippines, there was a cruel punishment. Female prisoners would be stripped naked and hung by their hands and feet into two iron shoes. With the rotation of the mechanism, the 2 feet would slowly be separated by a certain distance. Then a hot pot of flame pushed below. The high temperature of the baking would make the woman suffer a lot of pain. Harsh screams would be heard throughout the prison. This was only one of the penalties in this prison. Every day, the warden would choose a female inmate to serve her in bed. If they did not obey, the warden had 100 kinds of torture. For example, there were invincible fake carousel, a big shiny guillotine, a small fire pot with blue fire, an underground water cell full of horse yellow, and overload high-voltage electrotherapy. Every day, people were driven crazy alive. If someone couldn't stand the thought of escaping from prison, the place was surrounded by dense jungle and bounty hunters. Once caught, the only way out is death. On this day, Nana had the misfortune to be sent to this prison. She was set up by her boyfriend. He was a drug dealer. When he saw the police coming, he panicked and put contraband in Nana's bag. Nana thought her boyfriend was being framed. In court, she volunteered to cover for her boyfriend. She was sentenced to 10 years in prison. After that, she was sent to this notorious prison. The warden was a black man who hated blondes like her. As soon as she arrived at the prison, Nana was given a hard time by the warden by the hair. She was terrified. After changing into a uniform with a short skirt, Nana was sent to her cell. She was confused for the first time in prison. Her roommates introduced themselves: Nini with black hair, Lisa with red hair, and Lucy with blonde hair. Nana had just sat her down on the bed when the warden came to the door. She took Nini out alone. Tonight, Nini was flipped. That day, a man approached Lucy and told her to kill Nana in prison. He promised to reduce her sentence. Lucy then returns to the cell with a sandwich and gives Nana the poisoned one. Nana was about to eat it when the power went out in the prison. She didn't feel like eating anymore. The next day, a dead rat appeared in the corner. It turned out to have eaten Nana's sandwich. Lucy rushed to kick it into the drain. At that moment, Nini came back with a satisfied face. Lisa went up to her and taunted her. Nini was so angry that she tried to fight with Lisa with a knife. At this moment, Lucy pushed Nana up. Luckily, she only cut her clothes. The warden was alerted by the noise. After asking why, she took Lisa to the basement. There were all kinds of torture instruments. Lisa was terrified. She tried to break free and escape. She accidentally ran into the guillotine. The big, shiny guillotine fell down. Lisa turned around and tried to run away, but the warden slapped her unconscious. Then the warden had the guards strip her naked. This warden was so sick, she hung the naked Lisa up by her hands. After putting her feet in iron shoes, she turned the mechanism to spread the legs of the female ball. Then she pushed a hot pot of fire under her body. The high temperature of the baking made Lisa scream miserably. The scream stunned the women prisoners. After the torture, Lisa had to be dragged to work. Weak and faint, she collapsed on the floor. The wicked warden would not allow anyone to help. Lisa had to lie on the floor and be exposed to the sun. It was not until lunchtime that a roommate came up to give her some water to drink. Looking at Lisa in pain, Nana thought of breaking out of prison. Lisa said the area was surrounded by jungle. The warden had hired a lot of bounty hunters. If they were caught, the bounty hunters could do whatever they wanted. All they have to do was bring the body to the prison, and they would get a $50 bounty. So far, no one had ever heard of a successful escape. On this day, when carrying the oil barrel, Lucy tried to kill Nana with the oil barrel, but Nana dodged it with her quick reaction. During the meal, the warden took a liking to Lucy. After the meal, she took Lucy to her room, but Lucy said she didn't like black people. The warden tried to force her, but Lucy slapped her. The warden was so angry that he took her to the torture room. After stripping her naked, they tied her to the carousel of fate. After many spins, the warden asked Lucy if she wanted to go back to the room with her or continue spinning here. Lucy spat at the warden. The warden angrily picked up the dumb fork on the side and stabbed it hard into the spinning wheel. On the other hand, in the sugarcane field, 2 female prisoners suddenly got up and killed the warden with machetes. Then, they ran away quickly. The guards rushed to shoot and chase after them. The female inmates all stood up to check. Soon they were forced to crouch down again by the guards with their guns. The 2 female prisoners quickly ran into the jungle on the side. After the guards reported to the warden, she did not want to torture Lucy. They were all taken back to the prison. Then Lucy, who was injured, was returned to her cell. At night, a poisonous snake came to the window. Lucy saw it and had bad intentions. She used a wooden stick to get the snake into Nana's bed. Nana was so scared that she screamed. Lisa grabbed the bucket and quickly killed the snake. Nana felt so bad about this place. She wanted to invite Lucy to break out of jail with her. But Lucy didn't want to. They planned to do it tomorrow at the farm. just like the two female prisoners before them. But things didn't go as smoothly as expected. The next day, a number of leaders suddenly arrived. The warden sent them to take a shower, and then they changed into clean clothes and stood up. A few leaders who looked like dogs came down. They asked Nana how life was here. Nana thought she had met her savior. She told the truth. Before she could say two words, the leaders turned around and walked away. Then Nana was put in a water cell. The water cell in the women's prison had a small entrance on the floor. The smell inside was like a septic tank. There was only a palm-sized, light opening above the water. There were a lot of leeches in there. Here, Nana could only squat in the corner and pray silently. At night, Lucy came into action again. A bottle of concentrated sulfuric acid was poured on Nana's body. She was in pain and kept grabbing the railing and shaking it, but she broke one of them. The guards heard her screams and dragged her out of the water cell. They gave her a high-voltage electric treatment. Nana was electrocuted to death. Then they sent her back to her cell. Nana vowed to break out of prison. The next day, she was given a cold dose of water. A few days ago, the escaped female prisoner was captured by a bounty hunter. Unfortunately, there were only 2 bodies left. The roommates were terrified. Nana, however, had a new plan. At night, she called a religious prison guard. She said she wanted to pray for her dead cellmates. The guards took them into the church. When the guards weren't looking, they clubbed them and knocked them out. 2 of them went to open the water cell, while the other two stayed behind to deal with the guards. Soon, the warden came and caught the 2 who were breaking the bars. When she forced them to come up with a gun, they came over and knocked the warden unconscious, and they got her submachine gun. They were able to take the warden as a hostage. Then they went out of the sewers. Once out of the prison, they walked through the dense sugarcane fields and crossed the rushing river. At that moment, an alarm sounded in the prison. They fled in a panic. The warden tried to take advantage of the opportunity to escape, but Lucy shot her down. To stall for time, they tied the wounded warden to a tree. The bounty hunters soon came after them. After running away for some distance, Minnie, who couldn't let go of the warden, came back to her side. As she was about to untie her, the bounty hunter caught her. Nini was so scared that she turned around and ran. All the men jumped on her and soon Nini was out of breath. The warden tried to escape but was caught by the men and pushed into the water. Lucy says she knew a fisherman who could take them out of here and send them to the Zulu. Lisa knew the legend of the Zulu. It was a mobile playground. Just as they were about to be taken on the speedboat, Lisa took the opportunity to run out and met the rescue crew. Lucy and Nana arrived on the Zulu, but Lucy was a human trafficker. She exclusively supplied the ship with beautiful women. Nana was assigned to a small single room and began a life of darkness. One day, a man found Nana. He was an old friend of Nana's and had come to the ship to get Nana out. Nana used her familiarity with the captain to lead the man to hide everywhere. Finally, they managed to jump into the water and climbed into the speedboat that came to meet them. Lucy, who remained on the boat, was forced to take over Nana's position and lived a life of darkness